All right, so we have the 1:47 a.m. timeline. Oh, I love that. Make sure to smash the like button if you haven't done that already. Subscribe if you haven't done that. I would appreciate it. All right, let's get into the 1:47 a.m. timeline. So, what I want to talk about, my goal to go through this presentation, this slide deck that we're going to go through, is I'm going to show you what is the official, what's been reported, and what has been debated online. And I have three of the most controversial things that have been talked about that I've seen over the recent, last couple of weeks here. So let's get into this here. So the official timeline, now that it's been all kind of ironed out, is this. So 9:48 p.m., Nancy Guthrie was dropped off at her home by her family. Tommaso Nano says her garage opened and it was approximately at 9:48 p.m. and her garage door closed at 9:50 p.m. And that's according to Nano. So now we go to 9:50 p.m. Garage door closes, signifying the last moment of normalcy before the events begin to unfold through the night. Now we start at 1:47 a.m. 1:47 a.m. The doorbell camera disconnects, creating a critical gap in surveillance coverage that raises questions about the first event. And then we the events that are ready to unfold. Now we look at 2:12 a.m. The camera software detects a person on camera, but no video is available. And that's according to Nanos. They had no subscription, therefore it would rewrite itself. Kind of, it's kind of loops, right? And then it covers it up. That's what Nano said as well. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. Nano said that there are multiple cameras at the home. Interesting. Is there a camera inside the house? And this is like where I go on this too. Is that a bullshit thing that you're feeding us? Do you actually have video of inside the home and you don't want to release it? What is it? Right? And then we have 2:28. This is obviously where Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker app disconnects from her home, making another critical point in the unfolding narrative. Now we're going to shift ahead and talk about the three kind of anchor time stamps here that I find are very critical in this investigation and in this timeline. So key moments that define the timeline of events. Here are the three timestamps an entire public narrative hangs on: 1:47, 2:12, 2:28. If you understand these, you can understand why this case is so frustrating and why people are arguing over it. So the first critical point is the 1:47 a.m. The doorbell camera disconnects, raising questions about the events that transpired during the critical moment. But later on, with further investigation, that footage is recovered and released to the public. And obviously, we saw the first initial video. And I've been kind of playing that on my show the last couple of nights. And we did kind of a little bit of a deep dive into that last night. Some things that I've seen recently in the video that I might have overlooked. And I have that video on my channel. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure everybody watching this presentation has seen it. So now you look at the 2:12 a.m. anchor point. At 2:12 a.m., software detects someone on camera. However, no recording is available, fueling speculation and debate about the timeline. And then 2:28, obviously, that's where Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker app disconnects from her home, marking another critical point in the unfolding narrative. So now we'll shift ahead. So now we got to look at the window of time. Window of time, understanding the critical moments. Well, what does that do? Here are the key questions. Is 1:47 a.m. the abduction moment or the setup move? And we see that in the video. Is that when the perpetrator entered the property at that during the time at 1:47 a.m.? That's where they get into the front door, and this is the actual abduction. Or are they setting it up where that leads to believe that a lot of people have said this too? There may be multiple people involved in this. Maybe they were setting something up in the front to block that camera. So when they leave through the front door, you're not seeing any of the extended video or the actual abduction itself. So there's the question. The timeline window is where surveillance changes and device changes happen, meaning the phone, Nancy's phone disconnects from her pacemaker app. And then this is why the timeline matters more than just theories. So let's move forward. So, why 147 matters to understand the significance of the critical timestamps. So, we have awareness of surveillance. Disabling the camera indicates a clear awareness of surveillance, suggesting possible uh, forethought about the monitoring systems in place. But I don't know. That could be possible. But now that I go back and look at this video, and I actually want to pull it back up again, which I saw a movement. And listen, I'm not a body language expert, but I just see things when I look at this video. And let me run this by you guys, all you again. The thing that I found very strange about this, and we were looking at this last night. Let me just share my screen. And is everybody still with me? Because all of a sudden the chat got really quiet. Let me know that you guys are alive out there. Give me a thumbs up. Do you like this presentation so far? Are you following the presentation? Let me know. All right. So one thing that I noticed here in the video that I found kind of weird is maybe this person didn't realize. Awesome. Maybe this person didn't realize that there was a camera there. Maybe they didn't see it until they actually got up close to the door, because what did we find out in and around that area? I mean, JOR said it. Brian Enton said it. It gets really dark around, when it's that time of the morning. You barely see your hand in front of your face because because of all the non-light pollution out there. That's a big thing in Tucson. It's a big thing in Arizona that a lot of people in the locals fight for, is they don't want a lot of street lamps and things running at that specific time. So, but let's look at this again. And this is something that I kind of noticed on the video last night as I was watching through. That right there, that little kind of like, oh shit moment. And it's like kind of what people do when they don't want to be seen on a camera. Like you ever like turn around and maybe a friend is ready to take a photo of you, or they're shooting a video, and you do one of those kind of like, you throw your hand up kind of motion, like, shit. That's kind of what I see here when I look at this footage. And I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you see it too. Let me know in the chat. Is this kind of an oh shit moment for the perpetrator? Like, damn, there's that camera there. And they didn't notice it until they got up really close. I don't know. Is that camera have like a little light? I know sometimes in my neighborhood, some of the security cameras that people have on their house, when you walk by, there's a little kind of red indicator light that turns on to let you know that you're being recorded. And sometimes some of them that in my neighborhood actually give like a little audible ping, like they make a sound like ding, and then that red light comes on, right? And that red light comes on. So was this kind of like, oh shit? But as they're blocking it, they start, and I see Christy says, yeah, it looks like he's trying to open the door with the other hand. Let's play this again. There's the block, and then you're going to see the reach. And he's kind of looking around like, I can find something to kind of block the camera. Weeds, right? The good old weeds. Actually, wait a minute. I just saw something. Guess what? I don't think he was reaching for the door handle, because you know why? I think your door handle's right there. I think your door handle is right there. Look. There's your door handle. Here's your lock. Maybe he's trying to block it further. Block the camera further. See the door handle? It's the door handle. I just noticed that. Right there. There's your door handle. There's your bolt lock. Little refracted because of the camera. Right? So let's back up here. What is he reaching for? Right. And then we got the weeds. Ah, Christy, is he trying to put in a code? I don't know. Was there a code? Knobloch and Deadbolt take down the camera. Yeah, that could be it too, but you can see it there. I mean, even now, this is more clearer. Here's your door handle. That's your lock. So I want to know what's on that side of the door. Maybe we can find out. As we watch the second press briefer, I'm going to go to like JLR stream and see if I can see the front door. Or maybe I can Google it and look and see what's on that front door. So I'll have to go back and look. But what were they doing with that second hand? And that's wanting to see what's below that camera if we can try to figure this out. Well, obviously not as good as the one that they just installed, right? Because we just saw over the last couple of days, they started to install a better camera. All right, let's go back to my presentation. Let's hold that thought, and we're going to go back to that at some point here later in this presentation. So now we have the blackout window. The gap created, this disconnection forms a blackout window, allowing time for action to occur without being recorded. And then the scene control. This disconnection implies control over the scene by the perpetrator, enabling the individual or perpetrator or abductor to manipulate the environment prior to the events occurring. So this is where it gets serious. Reporting references an armed person, now that we know this by this video, appearing to tamper with the camera. That supports the idea that this is not a random tech issue. And, like I said, we were just asking a couple of minutes ago, do you think that they were trying, do you think disabling the camera was the first move in this? Brian Enton shows the front door. I'm going to have to go up and check that out. Thank you for that, Amy. But is this the first critical move in this abduction? Do you think it was to disable the camera system? Could it be that? Right? Let me know in the chat. All right, we're going to move forward here. So, and good things came out of this. So we have a suspect description, account and reports details about the suspect. Obviously, we found out about this Ozark Trails bag. It was initially thought that it was bought at a Walmart, but now we're hearing that the possibility of this could be that it was a secondhand purchase. Okay. And now we know that the perpetrator had a mask on their face. We can see in the video that there was some type of mustache that possibly could be on this perpetrator. They were sporting a mustache or maybe a goatee. So we have suspect seen on Nest Cam of having a mask, face, suggesting intent to conceal identity, obviously during the alleged tampering event. We have gloves that we saw in the backpack. The presence of gloves in a backpack further indicate preparation and possible intent to carry out the planned action discreetly. And then we had obviously the visible weapon, the handgun that was held in the not the correct holster. Visible weapon reports maintain a visible weapon, which raises significant concerns about the suspect's intentions and potential for harm during the incident. So now we look ahead. Here's a quote from Pima County Sheriff. At 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera is disconnected at the time, creating uncertainty about the night's events. So the wording is important. Doorbell camera is disconnected. Disconnected isn't the same as destroyed. There are multiple possibilities. The wording becomes the anchor for every interpretation. Now we move forward and we look at the disconnection. Well, what could be a disconnection possibility? Okay, so we can explore the possible reasons for the disconnection event. So we have account disruption. Well, definitely not going to be that. A disruption could be occurred due to an app issue where the settings or credentials prevent proper connection and functionality. Well, it's definitely not that, right? Here it is. Physical tampering. Evidence may suggest deliberate tampering, indicating someone interfered with the device to manipulate its operation or recorded status. And then we have device removal. And we're still, it's kind of I might change this. I might not have the red X there. I might have a red X and a green arrow because we have never really heard, was this camera officially taken down? Uh, is it still there, or what it could be? So the device could be physically removed or disabled, leading to interpretation of service and loss of recording capabilities. I want to go back and try to find a photo or some video of the actual front door. And I think, like someone said in the chat, Brian Enton may have that, because I think he got video of those blood spots. And if you just pan that camera up, I want to see that front door. I want to see that front door and look at that and see what the perp may have been, or suspect may have been fiddling with when they were trying to block the camera, because we found out the bolt lock and the handle is on the left-hand side and they were reaching around where the right was. All right, so let's move on here. So evidence in the recovery, understanding the residual data and its implications. So we have system logs. System logs can retain useful information even after disconnection, aiding investigators in understanding device activity prior to the incidents. Thank God for that, because that's where we got this video. This is where we got that video. Come to find out, Nancy Guthrie didn't have a subscription, which is actually really weird, considering, let's say, I mean, you look up Savannah Guthrie, you look up her net worth, $40 million. A little weird that you wouldn't have a subscription to your mom's, security system to log all these events in. So that was, it was a little weird. It's like, come on, like, have a subscription. I'm not worth $40 million. I have security cameras inside my house here. And, what is my Ring subscription? Or it's like, what, $9, $8 a month or something. So again, a little weird. So you have cached clips. Cached clips may remain in device memory, providing temporary evidence that could be crucial for reconstructing events surrounding the timeline. Thank God for that. And then you have back-end artifacts. Back-end artifacts, including cloud data, thank you for that, can offer insights to prior activity supporting investigations, even without continuing recording capabilities. So even if a device disconnects, systems can retain logs and cached artifacts. Investigators sometimes recover evidence from back-end systems, i.e. cloud data. This can explain partial evidence without continued recording. Yeah, and that's a good question, Erin. I wonder, let's see. She says, I wonder how long she was without a subscription, if ever. Absolutely. It's a good point. I mean, I would have a subscription, right? I mean, you can have cameras. You got to have some type of backup in cloud. You got to have a camera system backed up. You can't just have it overwrite itself. All right, so now we go to the 2:12 a.m. The camera software detected a person on camera, but no video was available. Same person. Was that the same person at 1:48 a.m. or a different person? That's always been the big question in all of this. Are there multiple people that are involved in this? Does this indicate one or two cameras? Is it the first camera? And let's just say that the camera itself was damaged, right? That initial camera that we saw is damaged. At that point, they enter the house, they come out, and it's detecting, let's just say 1:47 a.m., 2:12 a.m., they're leaving the house, but the camera's not working, but is a sensor picking it up? Is that detecting? Is it breaking a beam, an infrared beam somewhere, and it's detecting that someone left? We don't know. So the 2:12 a.m. timeline, the gap debate explains. Detection can happen without saved video depending on settings, cloud versus local storage matters, and how could it be a tech setting, or was it just set automatically? I know a lot of the cameras that I've had in the past, and I have now, a lot of those tech settings are just set automatically. They might have like a basic tech setting in there, and you can go in and tweak it to however you may want to have those settings on your phone. Pima for the millionth time, we have nothing. I love that. By the way, we got about 400 people watching tonight across all platforms. I want to thank everybody for checking in. on my presentation this evening. I really appreciate that. All right, so we move forward here. 2:12 a.m. trigger detected but not recorded. Understanding the nuances of surveillance technology failures. So you have a motion detection. And I talked about this a little earlier. Motion or AI detection systems can trigger alerts without saving video, leading to unrecorded events despite detection. And I know this just for some security reasons on some of the businesses that I worked on. They have things that are called like glass breaks, which is it's just a sensor that if someone comes up to the window, they break the window, it works off vibration and can sense a trigger point. So I don't know if they had something like that there, excuse me, and it got triggered in the house. Or you can have, like an infrared beam somewhere where it's just running across, you go past and you break that beam, that could trigger something as well. And we talked about even if the camera was damaged, did it have any type of, infrared on there that detects even just a motion when it comes back, but won't give you video. Could be something like that as well too. So you have storage settings. Specific storage settings may prevent recordings from being retained, meaning detection occurs, but the video footage is unavailable. And then obviously we have cloud storage. Difference between cloud and local storage can significantly impact what is recorded and retained, affecting the overall availability of the footage. So it suggests that no clip could be subscription or storage related. If true, detection happens, but video wasn't retained, and that reframes the 2:12 a.m. line to a save issue versus a camera didn't work. That is a possibility. So at 2:28 a.m., Nancy's pacemaker app disconnects, marking a pivotal point in the timeline. And that was a statement from the Pima County Sheriff's Department. So the key here is the 1:47 to the 2:28 is about 41 minutes. Now we need to try to find out what happened in between those 41 minutes. And it's a possibility sequence: camera disruption, approach and entry, device separation. And this is where the timeline reconstruction lives. So now we have the next anchor point at 2:28 a.m. Nancy's last known contact at this point. Pacemaker app disconnects from the phone. Public interprets this as something has changed. Was she out of range? Did her phone move? Her phone turn off? Whatever it may be. All those public speculation things around this case, and we still have no full technical detail publicly. They are not letting us know. Why? I don't know. It's very annoying. And then the critical 41-minute window, key individual analysis and implications. Sheriff says, and this was the other day, quoted by Sheriff Nanos via the Today Show, did an interview, said, "We're definitely closer to catching someone." That's encouraging, but is still very vague. And what does that mean? Is it closer to a suspect, a vehicle, a timeline clarity? We don't know at this point. And I think that's been the most frustrating thing. And this is where I call the sheriff should come out. We're 4.5 weeks out from this initial abduction. Give the public a full update. Here's where we're at. This is what we have. This is what we're looking into. These are rumors that we can dispel. We've already looked at this piece of evidence. It doesn't lead anywhere. It's not leading anywhere. We've dismissed this piece of evidence. We've spoken to this person. They're not a suspect. Let's get an update in here, right? And what do you think closer means? Let me know in the chat. What do you think closer means? Does it mean we're closer to a suspect? We're closer to a vehicle? We're closer to a timeline and clarity? What does closer mean? Closer to what? Not having anything else? Closer to what? Closer to what at this point, right? Heather, thank you so much for the 199er. I knew that super chat button worked. I knew it worked. I appreciate it, Heather. I appreciate you. It says, great thought out presentation, Brian. Thanks. I appreciate that. Hello, Matthew. Welcome in. Nice to see you. If you're here, make sure to subscribe. We got a great chat over here. All right. So moving on here. So now we have the controversy, and my photo didn't download here. Hang on a second. Let me just refresh. Sometimes you got to refresh. All right. Everybody enjoying the presentation so far? Let me know. Give me a Y in the chat. Give me a Y in the chat if you are enjoying this presentation. And it's close to the media being nicer to him. Oh, I love that. Oh, man. Oh, God. All right. So now we have the controversies. Let's talk about three of the major ones that I've seen come up. I've seen come up in the last couple of weeks here, right? So is this the same person at 1:47 a.m. or a different person? Does this indicate one or two cameras, right? So controversy number one, disconnected versus detected. Now analyzing conflicting evidence and possible explanations. One, possible resolution. The disconnect at 1:47 a.m. may conflict with detection at 2:12, possibly indicating different systems or delayed or alerts. Come out, be honest, let us know, right? Let us know. Just clear this information up. Missing information, publicly unavailable details include which system registered the detection, affecting the understanding of the timeline of the events. Listen, you don't want us putting rumors out there. You don't want us to put this missing information out there. Get to a podium and clarify this. Sheriff Nanos, you're in charge, right? Come out and clarify this. And then technical variations in camera technology and settings, could explain discrepancies between the disconnection and detection, leading to the ongoing confusion. So most defensible controversy. How can both statements be true? Possible resolutions, different device or systems, delayed notifications and storage settings, missing pieces. Which system generated the 212 software detect line? That's what we need to know. Is it the initial camera that we saw where the suspect entered or possibly entered the home? Or is it another camera or another detection system? Let us know. All right, moving on to number two, the different day debate. Remember this? Someone figured out, wait a minute, he's only got a backpack on in one photo. Sources around the crime scene say that these are two different nights. And you had to have, after that comes out and gets released on the internet, the sheriff has to go back and back this up and now clarify it. And come to find out, they were taken on different nights. So is it possible that this suspect cased the home a night before, a week before, a month before? What is it? Clear it up. Let us know. So the online claims suspect images were taken on different days. Officials push back. Images lack timestamps, so no claims can be proven publicly without metadata to us, to the public. It still remains unverified. I'm going to sip of water. We're going to number three. This is the most recent one. The speeding vehicle debate. I still think, in my estimation, when I look at this, it's a Kia Soul. That's what I see here. But we look at it. New ring cam footage is the headline from People magazine. New ring cam footage near Nancy Guthrie's home shows car speeding down the road minutes after her abduction. If this is a pertinent piece of the evidence, this is good. This is a good lead. But authorities are aware of the footage, but have not confirmed whether it's a clue in the case according to reports. Remember, come out, hey, we're aware of it. This has nothing to do with the case. And then all of a sudden, come to find out that we just heard what? Yesterday or 2 days ago, when Nanos has a sit down with Today's Show, oh no, that is a piece of evidence that we are now looking into. So again, you need to clarify this for the public, for investigators. We're all over the place here. What is it? Yes or no? Is it part or isn't part? Right? So we have the online claim, could be connected to the case. Officials push back, say they checked it out and it's not related. Then days later, they're investigating it again. And again, it's so very confusing. So another piece here, known versus unknown. Known, the three anchor times plus official referencing, tampering, imagery. Unknown, meaning of the software detects. Which system logged it? How did this disconnect occur? That is the $1 million question here. What system logged the 2:12 a.m. time stamp, time anchor? Was it the first initial Nest cam on the front door, or is there another detection system? Is there one suspect, or is there two? This is very helpful. This is very helpful information to the public. Just release it and let us know. When officials clarification drops, this board updates. So now we have known elements. Public reports confirms the 147 disconnect, 212 detection without the recording, and the 228 pacemaker app disconnect. The unknown elements, key details remain unclear, such as the specific device login, the 212 detection, and the disconnect's true implications. Now we have the next steps. The investigator continues to emphasize the need for updates and clarity, resolve questions, and provide public transparency. No, you need to do that. You need to clarify. You need to give us public transparency in this investigation. And then the ongoing discussions, community discussions, highlight the public desire for more information and importance of evidence-based dialogue surrounding this case. Just be clear. Be clear. Give us the right facts. And then we have the question, the 1:47 a.m. question. What do you believe? The bottom line is if 1:47 a.m. is the trigger, either the abduction moment or the setup move, what do you think the 212 refers to? And I'm asking the chat. Same device or a different system? Let me know in the chat. Do you think it's the same device? Is it that initial Nest Cam, the Nest Cam out in the front door, or do you believe that there's another device inside the home that picked up this detection that they're not telling us about? What do you think, chat? Do you think it's the same device or a different system? And if anyone has any real footage, obviously, or tips, you want to contact them to the local law enforcement and keep this public discussion evidence-based. That's what we try to do here at all times. Hey, everybody. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. Also, turn on that bell notification so every time I go live or drop a new video, you guys will know. And somewhere around here, a box is going to pop up and you can see another related video to this channel. Again, I'm Brian. This is LTL Media, and I appreciate your time. Talk to you soon.